carried on them. There are thousands of rehabilitation facilities around Japan that encourage independence of residents living there with nowhere to go in accordance with livelihood protection law in Japan. So this is one of the government's safety net measures that guarantees people's minimum standard of living to protect people falling to such a terrible situation who find it really difficult to make a living by themselves independently for some reasons, from the situation where they are forced to survive outside of society. So these first facilities are normally used by those who have no one to rely on after getting out of jail, and those who fall into serious poverty and find it really difficult to make a living by themselves independently, or those who fall into drug addiction, alcohol addiction, or something like that. So, according to livelihood protection law in Japan, payment per day for usage of these rehabilitation facilities managed by each municipality is about 150 yen per day. So residents are guaranteed food and place to sleep and medical care, and staff take care of them until they leave this place and make a living by themselves independently after that. So although the government provides the people with such a generous public services to guarantee the minimum standard of living in Japan to support people who are seriously in trouble with their living, when we look around downtowns and big cities like Shibuya and Shinjuku in Tokyo in Japan, we realize there are so many homeless people around there. So do you think it is really strange that why homeless people don't enter into such a facility to take back their home humane life? Right. So of course there are some factors like they cannot help waiting for their turn to enter into facilities because there's too many people to use it. But apparently there are some homeless people who don't want to use such a facility except for such a reasons. So when I listen to one homeless person on the street, he has been persistently abused by staff working in a facility. So that's why he didn't want to return back to a facility, even though there will be a chance to take back his humane life. So there are so many homeless people in Japan who gave up using a rehabilitation facility in fear of being abused by staff taking care of them and other residents living together in the same room. So to make matters worse, a municipal office stops assisting homeless people with livelihood protection when they leave leaves this facility, which also becomes the cause to spur on increasing the number of homeless people around the downtowns and the terminal stations around the big cities in Japan. So what I want to say here is, social order based on a certain discipline to make people behave respectfully to others in the facility seem to be despised by the government. So it seems to me the meaning of existence of rehabilitation facilities based on the measure to protect homeless people from a misery situation is not really different from a nominal social activities by the Japanese government, or just external appeal that we are doing really well and we are doing really serious for those who are in trouble with their living. So this is just a public appeal. So these problems are not really exposed oftentimes socially because homeless people in a really weak position just leave this place without words, but they can't insist on their complaint about this problem. So no matter whether it is small or big, a community is a society. A community is a society, and a society is formed by more than two people. And if there are some people with different sense of values in the same community, they must organize stipulated inviolable area from each other and establish some rules that they can behave respectfully to each other in order to avoid conflict inside. So this is a minimum. This is, I think, a minimum duty for administrators to provide people with the public services. So when we see homeless people don't reduce around big cities in Japan, I think the Japanese government has to figure out that they can organize the environment where such people can make a positive effort to be independent in the society.